Hello, YouTubers and podcasters. I'm super excited to be here with you today. This episode I hope is going to be extremely helpful. We're going to go through a little bit of content, right? So in our first couple of sessions together, I really talked about how I transitioned from my full-time job making $170,000 into just entrepreneurship. I own 2 businesses, and we're going to talk a lot about the second one. But I also want to spend some time talking about the one that I think has kind of propelled me to the point where I can actually transition out of a full-time job and focus on entrepreneurship solely. So I own an IT consulting firm, and in the first episode, I talked to you all about how I transitioned out of my full-time job, some of the benefits of working in a full-time job, and one of those for me was I actually learned the skills that I'm using right now as an entrepreneur in my full-time job, right? So there may be a lot of negatives associated with, working in a full-time job as it relates to autonomy and the ability to make decisions. But one of the big benefits I received while I was there was the ability to actually learn a skill set that I've been able to transition into business ownership. And so we'll spend some time talking about that here today. So I've told you guys, hey, if you've got these things, maybe you're just tired of working that standard 9 to 5, you want to be able to live life and enjoy it with your family, travel across country in an RV, something we're about to do. Or maybe you just don't like the rigor. Maybe you want to make more decisions on your own. Maybe you feel like you've got the skill sets to own a business, but you're like, Nicole, these are all great ideas. But what can I do, or how can I take the skills that I've learned in my job, or maybe skills that I haven't learned yet, learn them and transition it into a full-time business? And so I'm going to tell you what I did, just my journey for how I stumbled upon owning a business really in this sector that I've been spending time in within my corporate job. So I worked in a corporate foundation. I was building out the reporting and analytics infrastructure for them. And I know this is like blah, 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 wah, 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 right? But long story short, in that role, I got to go to a conference in Seattle. It's a Microsoft conference. And while I was at that conference, they talked about one thing. And you're going to see that here on the screen. And it was some of the most sought after skills that were looked for within a platform called Upwork. And if you're looking to start a business, I'll encourage you to use Upwork, and I'll tell you a little bit more about why here in a little bit. But while I was at that Microsoft conference, they said one of the most sought after skills on this platform, Upwork, from a freelancing or an agency standpoint, is Power BI. Power BI happened to be the tool that I was using every day in my full-time job. So I kind of looked at the people that I was there with sort of an eyebrow and said, maybe I should start a business. Now, you guys know I've maybe touched on this once. The name of my podcast is my name, Nicole McKinney, super creative. My business name was all around this initial platform that I started with because of this conference I was in Seattle, where they randomly said, hey, if you've got this skill, it's needed on this freelancing tool called Upwork. And it was Power BI. So my firm now is called PowerBIConsultingServices.com. I know, super creative. But I spun that up right after going to that conference and hearing that this was a skill that was needed. And then I went on Upwork, which is a freelancing platform, set up my profile, and began to just put in bids for opportunities around this tool or this platform. And that's kind of scaled over the past almost 4+ years, right? So spending some time just scaling this business forward, taking those skills I'd learned really within my full-time job, doing this work already for several years, and expanding that into a business. So I just created my business website, set up a freelancing profile on a platform called Upwork, and went to work. And so right here on my screen, I'm actually showing you guys that exact billboard or representation that was at that Microsoft conference. And really quick, I'm just going to show you, this is a top 20. And so if you're thinking, what can I do, right? What can I do to start a business? Well, let's go through some of the items that are actually referenced here. And Power BI is number 9 on the list. So it's in the top 10 most sought after skills within that platform in 2018. But there's more, and there's things that almost anyone can do, right? And so that's the cool part. Voiceover. Now, if you've got a great voice, I can't say that I do, but I got some really cool podcasting technology around me. And if you're really good at voiceover, it's one of the top sought after skills. And this was in 2018. I'm about to segue to the skills that are more prevalent today in 2022. Another good example, content strategy. So that's all around What's your approach and strategy for getting your content out on social media platforms, right? And all of us, usually, specifically millennials and younger, have this unique ability to get on social media platforms and have their voice heard. And so they may be very astute and capable of kind of doing that content strategy for a company. Mention Power BI, but you'll see some other things on here. Instagram APIs, so how you can pull data out of that Instagram platform and put it somewhere else. And then there's a lot around just data science, machine learning, AI, augmented reality. So if you work in an industry right now where you're doing this type of work, more than likely, even though it was 4 years ago, I would imagine a lot of these are going to be transferable even today. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and segue us to the things from 2022. What are the skills that you might have that you can leverage on a platform like Upwork or to start a business? And then we'll kind of just, unravel that a little bit more. But I think the key to what I'm talking to you about today is take the skills that you're learning in your full-time job. And if you don't have these skills yet, do some proactive education so that you can start to learn skills that will help train you up to own a business. And keep in mind, you don't have to have all the answers. The cool part about me sort of taking on the role that I did, owning this consulting firm, I knew some things. But as I started to scale and grow my business, I started to put people in positions that were way smarter than me, that could answer questions and that could do this work. So now I've got a brilliant team. And every time I'm having a discussion with someone about my business and starting a partnership with me, one of the very first things I say, hey, there are far smarter folks on my team and inside my organization than me. And that's the goal. So as you scale up, bring in people to help you. But as you're starting off, learn some skills, some real tangible skills that you can put forward to help get business in the door. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that helps. So let's flip to what's going on in 2022. And I think this is really interesting. So I'm going to talk about this, but I'd also say I'm still looking at this information and learning from it because I'm in that phase in my career where business ownership's great. I own 2 businesses. But I want to purchase businesses too. And so as I'm looking at those demanded marketing and tech skills that are kind of wanted at the moment, I'm looking at it from the lens of, hey, I'd love to buy a business doing some of this stuff. What is it that I should be looking for? What businesses should I look to buy out, right? So that's where I'm at in my career. But I would say take a look at this list and see what you can do within this arena that could be beneficial to you kind of kicking off your business. So in tech, you're going to see web. The web is just growing and expanding. WordPress, website development and design, all of those UI and UX components associated with it are so important. So I would say this is something a lot of people could do if you're creative. You don't even know, you need to know how to develop the site. If you can do the wireframe and the UI and UX, you can actually hire people at a pretty inexpensive cost to actually build out these sites for your company. And you can just do that upfront UI UX discussions with the business owner around sort of what is their vision for this site. And then you come back with a pre-built website for them, built on, WordPress and things like that. And then you've got a business out of it. You build those websites, you host those websites, you manage them, and then you've got a recurring income stream. This is an area I personally am in love with. I'm wanting to jump into this sector. A lot of folks within my firm know it. This is an area that I think is going to continue to expand and grow. So I would look at the things that kind of sit in this top 10 demand tech skills. So the next section, all around marketing. And I would say this is just a drop down to the website design, right? So if you can build out websites, if you can develop them, and then you can focus on offering those same clients social media marketing and integrations to that website, and then SEO optimization and all the things that go to, wait, I got a great website, but are people hitting that website? Equally important. And so if you can come with both the website design and development, as well as that marketing and SEO strategy, you have got a win-win for a business model. So if you're thinking about it, if you've got some of those skills, stop what you're doing now, stop watching this video, and go ahead and create a website right now to start a business in this sector, because I really do believe this is an area that's going to continue to expand and develop and grow. Another huge area, and I can attest to this is an area that my business is always needing support in. It's really that administrative support, email support, phone support, all those things, right? I'm the CEO of a company that has about 25 folks on it. give or take. We get inundated with emails, so having an admin that can kind of manage the emails, make sure things aren't falling through the cracks, really that support for your organization is critical and key. And so if you've got skills like just schedule management, right? You're organized and you can kind of keep things on track, and you can make sure that folks don't miss meetings that are on their calendar that are in person or virtual. Kind of helping a CEO or an executive kind of manage their day-to-day work stream, especially if you're a CEO of a small business. So I'd say if you've got skills like that support, that customer service, that administrative realm, as you can see in the customer service sector, these are the things that folks are in need of. And so hopefully just looking at this list sparks some ideas and interests for you. You can start off small. Maybe you're just managing someone's social media content for them. A small business owner, I think that's a great area to kind of kick into. Start by kind of looking at the pricing model. What are people charging for these services right now? Come in a little bit below that on your first few clients, then start to expand that over time and grow it over time. And hopefully you can kind of build that out into a large customer base. At my consulting firm, we call it BIC, so you'll probably hear me refer to it like that a lot during these sessions. We're generally working with between 35 and 40 clients on a monthly basis. And those go, it's really a gamut of projects. It could be, all vary. Some super large, some medium, and some smaller. We are a Charlotte-based firm, so we do have a good focus on sort of driving and building out our client base here in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. But again, I wanted to kind of focus our attention today on, I got this business idea from being in corporate America, going to a conference, and hearing about these skills that I just showed you today. So go online and research it. Hopefully this is interesting and helpful. But I think the big idea is there are needs out to market right now, and platforms like Upwork are a great place for you to get started, build your client base, build your website, optimize your SEO, get people to your personal website, and then grow a business. And that's exactly what I did. Don't give up on a platform like Upwork. It really is like the lottery, but there are some unique ways that you can gain clients within that platform. I have actually made over $1 million within my agency on this platform over the past 4+ years on the platform. So it's really a great place to expand your business and grow it out. So hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, if you want me to go into detail on anything else, elaborate on something, drop it in the comments section. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the podcast. More and more content is going to continue to come out. Our next video, just to give you a little bit of a preview, or podcast for those watching or listening to it, is going to be on how do you calculate your net worth, right? So I've already kind of mentioned I didn't get a small $1 million loan to get where I'm at today. And I have 2 businesses, this consulting firm. We just spent a lot of time talking about how I landed in this area. And then I also own a real estate firm. And in that real estate firm, I buy real estate, rent it out. It's a buy and hold model. We do some renovations mostly within our homes, and then we rent those units out. We're going to talk a lot about that on the podcast. But I want to talk to you about how you calculate your net worth and how you kind of monitor that over time, and some really cool tools that are out there that can kind of help you with that as well. Hopefully you found this useful. Subscribe, like, and we look forward to hearing or seeing you guys on the next episode. Have a good one.